How's it going, everyone? We are live here, and thank you guys so much for coming to hang out here in this live podcast where we talk about retro gaming, home arcade. I got a number of things that I want to talk about today. For those that are wondering if I continue to do this podcast, I joined an 80s band, and we're starting to move our band practice to Monday, so I should be able to do some things on Sunday, although I've been practicing a lot. I wanted to start out this episode. Everybody, thank you guys so much for coming to join. I see Ralphie is in here, Jason, Super Dimensional, Retired Night Owl, JR, Stupid Fat Hobbit. Thank you guys so much for coming to hang out live. It's always enjoyable to see the happy faces in the community to want to talk about retro gaming. I thought I'd start this episode out with an analogy, okay? So hear me out. I'm going to talk about alcohol just for a second. And there's no moral here. There's no moral to the story, but check this out. So this is a Jefferson's whiskey bourbon. I was able to get it at Costco. This is something 19K Fox was like, oh, you should try this bourbon. It was a couple of years ago when he was like, you should try these different bourbons. So I started getting into that. I bought a variety of different whiskeys and kind of slowly went through them, and again, I'm not condoning over drinking or anything like that. I think I drink in moderation. That is what I recommend if you're going to drink in moderation. But about once a week, I would have a whiskey, a shot or two, usually around this podcast on Sunday. And I form a liking towards the different brands. I started saying, okay, this one is good. But then I started realizing, depending on the situation, one could be better versus the other. There's a lot of different varieties in whiskey, and it's not like a single type of whiskey that I enjoy. And then more recently, I started to really enjoy IPAs. And in fact, that's what I was going to drink here tonight. And it was because about a year ago or so, I started going to this arcade downtown in Denver. What I also found is I like a lot of head, which is try to splash it in there, and you can get that foam in that upper area. Gets all that gas out of it, and you can be more pleasurable to drink. But here's the idea. I started forming a liking to IPA. And drinking an IPA along with playing pinball, playing arcades, it's been something that I've really enjoyed. So I'll spend about an hour at a time playing different video games, probably never longer than an hour period. Maybe sometimes it's 2 hours. And within that period of time, I can drink a beer, and it's pretty good. Now, does that mean I don't like other alcohol? Is it the case that I no longer will drink a whiskey? Is it the case that I'm only ever going to buy an IPA? No. And that's my point. My point is, in the home arcade space, there's some people, and I'm not trying to call out anyone to cause drama or anything like that, but I'll give you a reason why I'm even bringing this up. There's certain people in the community that will only ever drink one type of drink, let's say. It's the contrast, the analogy. Or they'll only ever drink this type. And in fact, some people have accused me of only drinking a certain type and have only ever said that I do that forever. Or there's other people in the community that feel that once you taste something and then you taste something, you move up the scale. You see what I'm saying? You go up to full-size arcades and you never come back to home arcade. That's just not me. That's just not me. Now, you may believe that everyone in the world is like that. And you may look at a video and go, I know that person. I know that person in and out. I know why they made that video. I know why they're talking about that. But do you? But do you really? Are you just making a bunch of assumptions based on content that you watch from other people and you just assume, is the world simpler for you if everyone's just the same? Does that make life simpler for you? So this is my response to all those people down in the comments that keep on thinking they know me, or thinking that I'm like other people, or want me to be like other people, or want me to be a shill, or whatever, Don't care. Let's move on. Let's have fun. And every now and then, let's drink an IPA. That's right. Variety is the spice of life. So in this video, in this podcast, what I wanted to talk about, we'll get into this, is So I was going to show off my game room. That's kind of the main premise of it. And I was planning on starting with that. I was going to start with the game room. And I spent some time, I made some videos where I'm editing together all these different pieces. And then I realized this isn't going to work. I can't start with the game room. And the reason why is that in music or in videos, there's this resolve. It's great. It's like if you're in the key of A and you're playing through this certain melody, right? You may want the song to end on A. It's the home chord. It's the resolve, but you want to build up some tension in there. So I gotta not show you the game room first. I gotta, and keep in mind, if you're watching this, you just came for the game room, like give me a few minutes and let me show you this other thing, because it's the chorus, it's the verse, it's the bridge, and then it resolves. Hopefully it'll resolve. I don't know, we'll see. So the first thing I wanted to show off is the last couple weeks I've been showing off some of my struggles, and the answer to the struggles has been dollies, things like that. But there's a pinball cart that I got. Hold on a second. It's not letting me disable some of these chat messages. So just give me 1 second. I think this will work. There we go. No. Hey, how's it going? You're over here now. Don't want to do that. Here we go. We go to this main scene. This is what I wanted. Okay. Sorry, that threw me off because the Elgato Stream Deck pressing buttons isn't working. There we go. So I'm going to show this video. And so what you're seeing here is the Revenge from Mars. There's this nut down there that I was going to... Actually, I think I'm talking here. Nut, but there's one there. I'll be removing that. I was thinking about like welding that in place, but I'm just going to skip that. I'll know that in the back left-hand side there's a nut, and I'm going to have to remove the nut if I ever want to remove the legs. Maybe I'll come back to it later. But the goal is to get this downstairs in my basement today. So I got it jacked up on this pinball. Everything's makeshift over here, you know, like just got the glass on this, and, you know, do what you can with what you got. Try not to overspend on things that you don't really need. Let's do this. All right, so what we're seeing here, let's see if I can pull this up just right. So this is me. There's two of me on the screen. How is that possible? So this is the Revenge from Mars, and I'm going to show you a video of me literally moving it. Yes, this is the modified Harbor Freight dolly. And this is me remembering I need to go into the garage and grab the ramp here. Now, here's the whole thing. This is going to take us into the game room because I'm going to show you some of the struggles I had to go through to be able to get these machines into the game room, which also, by the way, is like the craziest thing ever. Like you as I do these projects, it helps me to just grow a stronger and stronger appreciation for how easy home arcade with Arcade 1-Up, AtGames, iArcade actually is. And it's like, this is the type of work and effort that I had to go through to be able to get, this machine into my basement. So, yes, we need the Benny Hill music. I've sped this up 4x time just so it could be something that I can talk over. Otherwise, I started editing this. It was 26 minutes long of me doing all of getting this into my basement, and I was watching it at regular speed, and I was like, this is basically watching The Quiet Place. It is scary. Like, this is the scariest video ever, but hopefully me laughing and smiling and talking over it will make it a little bit less scary. But let me explain to you right here. I'm gonna let the scariness come in, okay? This will be scary. Listen very closely. Yes. Yeah, guys. So I used on purpose the quarter-inch plywood to make it bendable, so I can make it flexible to get up the ramp. That's kind of the goal. The half-inch would be too big, but yeah, it's about to get scarier. You ready? Okay. keep in mind, you're going down like half an inch right here. This is scary stuff. Here it comes. Oh, gosh. Okay. All right. Okay, how to pass that part. Now I just need to move this machine a little bit further onto the plywood, and then it's going to... This is 350 pounds. 350 pounds we're moving across grass. Okay, here we go. Yeah, where's the straps? Justin forgot the straps. Here goes. Here we go. Come on. Just got to go off that ramp. That's it. This is easy, right? It's easy owning full-size stuff. It's easy. Oh, gosh, no. I'm telling you, this is watching The Quiet Place. Okay, so we're going to turn that off. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. So this is, yeah, I like to tempt fate. This was my Friday afternoon, and so far, so good. I planned this out for months, the exact path, where I would go, on the grass, all the equipment that I would use, and my goal was to see if I could do this by myself, because if I could, it would teach me a lesson. Now, this camera angle looks crazy. It looks like it's uphill, but no, this is downhill. Where the tripod was put wasn't a very flattering position. So this is me. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm trying to get it to not roll. See what I'm doing? I'm pushing back. And then I'm like, okay, we got to get past. And there's a mistake coming up. And it was a fatal mistake. Watching this back, I'm like, this was the biggest mistake. I learned from it, though, and I want to teach you as well. So this is me. Keep in mind, this is sped up. This video right here is, I think it's sped up. Maybe this is normal speed. I think this is normal speed. Okay. Yeah. Okay, this is me. It wasn't too bad because I'm holding the 350 pounds. Not all the weight, of course, but allowing to go down off of that ramp ever so slowly. And that worked pretty good. It's not as much as The Quiet Place right there. Not as tense, not as scary. You're like, Justin can do this. Can you fast forward it when it falls? Yeah, that would have been fun to fetch. Okay, to catch. So we're going to get to this next space, and then it goes off the ramp, and then that's it when it comes to scariness. We'll jump to the next part right here. Oh, there it is. It's hard. It's hard because, like, it's downhill. And so, really, we needed two people. Pimpstar 2, he could take it. Okay, so this was the easier part. I sped it up, no big deal. We're getting it onto the ramp. Again, it starts to roll a little bit because we're going downhill. And this was the key thing. Watch closely. This is where I messed up. I moved a single piece of wood, and watch that other piece of wood in the back. Watch very closely on that piece of wood. This is... See, it starts to roll? Scary, right? Okay, so it's rolling down the hill, and it even turned a little bit. This is me speeding it up a little bit. I'm having to hold it back, and at this point, I can't move. I'm by myself. I want to call my wife. She's in the house. She can't hear me, and I'm trying to call her, but I realize I can't call her. Do you know why? Because I'm filming with my phone. This is my phone that's filming. I can't call her. And now I'm going on to this next piece of wood, but the other piece of wood that I need to use to leapfrog is back there. So now the pinball machine is in the grass, which it ain't moving now. It's in the grass, and now it's hard to get out of the grass because it's created a rut. The dirt is not wet by any means, but it's making a little dip. So this is me struggling, like, okay, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna put the next piece of wood on there, and then I'm gonna move the ramp. This is the leapfrog technique. Now it's downhill. You can see the elevation. Okay, and everyone's like, wow, you have a lot of gray hair. That's right. I've had gray hair since I was like 18, so deal with it. I thought about dyeing it, but I don't dye my hair because, again, I've had gray hair since I was 18. It's kind of my signature thing. Like, people know I have gray hair. That's known me for a long time. For some reason in this room, you can't really tell how gray it is because of the dark lights. Okay, so this is me freaking out. I wasn't able to film this part, but... Okay, so we had to skip. So this is what I had to do. I had to call a buddy. So I called a buddy on the phone. I'm like, hey, man, I'm stuck. I talked to my wife. I was like, you want to help me? And she was like, she would totally help me. But then I was like, let me just call a friend so she wouldn't have to worry about it. So I call a buddy. He comes over. And I think in this video, I explained what took place. Unfortunately, I didn't film this next part, but you'll hear in the video what did took place. Okay, here we go. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to film this part, but I called a buddy and it was pretty fast. All right, sorry, I'm gonna switch microphones and just voice over it here because it's too windy. So we used the cardboard, and then the two of us were just able to roll it directly on the grass, no problem. And so then we used the ramp actually to get across these rocks because it was just shorter than going around. And so we used the ramp to go across the rocks. Again, with two people, we could do the grass, no big deal. There's the ramp that's just sitting there. And this is underneath my deck. And this is going over, we built this makeshift, I actually built that a couple days ago or like a week ago. It's just been sitting there knowing that I would have the pinball machines coming in here soon. And we were able to get into this unfinished area, no problem. Coming up, you may recognize these are my arcade 1-ups. And I got some storage here. This is where I'm going to get a whole bunch of arcade 1-ups. Because it's a hallway, but I can fit a lot of the 1-ups like on the left-hand side, and there's still enough to walk through and get things in and out of it. No big deal. So this is like where my guitar stuff is, and coming in here, and there it is. There's the Revenge from Mars. So showing it from this angle, I wanted to show that I was able to get the Revenge from Mars into this room, and there's some issues though. And getting it inside here, you'll see then by the time my buddy came over, I did put straps on there. And as we were pushing it across, the entire lift started to move. And as we settled it inside the room, it wanted to fall over. It wanted to fall over, and it was the scariest thing ever. And I was like, no. He was like, oh, it'll be fine. Just let it fall over. He was actually an arcade guy. He's moved tons of arcades, and he owns an arcade, and he's building another arcade. So he's got to have a lot of experience in this. But I was like, no. Let's lift it up and get that lift a little bit. Let's get that lift kind of moved in there more center, and then I was able to set it up just fine. I see there's a couple questions in there in the live chat. Let me show you the next video, and then I'll do questions of the live chat. So kind of let me show you where my game room stands at this point. There's still a lot more work that I have to do. I don't know how you guys do it, man. You guys have been working on your game rooms for a long time. I think I'm a year into working in my game room, but it's like each weekend I do one small thing, and I just feel like I'm just now at the point where it's really starting to come together. Once I started getting some pinball machines earlier this year, I take advantage of that. In my other room, I have a lot of 1-up machines, which I'll show you, and in that area, I've been able to take advantage of it. But in this unfinished area, it's just been like not a ton of gaming. I got a CRT, and I'll do a lot of nights on the CRT, but it's like I don't have that arcade huge variety where everything's ready to go. It's like I'm always constantly like moving things around, but things are settling now. Things are settling, and I'm really enjoying that. So let me show you. I think this is the actual tour. So this is a couch that I got into the room. I just bought this carpet, this rug down below for like $40 at Walmart to kind of get everything to come together. This is what I call the digital station. It's got a Polymega on it right now, but it also has some other digital stuff. Then you got the CRT on the left. I'm upgrading that to a Toshiba, or that is a Toshiba, but I'm going to get a Trinitron. So this is the Play Choice 10. It's got 10 games in it plus the game link. And then I have the Williams Multi, which has like, I don't know, 5 games on it. I never count, whatever. Road Blasters, that's Retro Ralph's Road Blasters that I traded with him. It's the AtGames pinball in the back box there. Then I got the Jurassic Park pinball machine. This is a Pro. Those cups are amazing. Pinball Life, they're like $10. Seriously, no joke. If you own a pinball machine, you got to get those little cups. For me, it's like when I sit down to play, I throw an IPA in there. Not all the time, but sometimes. Sometimes I come in the morning with coffee, literally put the coffee, drink coffee, play a couple games. That's how I start my morning. Not all the time, but maybe I probably do it like 3 times a month. I do the coffee pinball. Godzilla, my favorite pinball machine. Both of these were my favorite. You can go back to videos a year and a half ago, and I'm saying Jurassic Park and Godzilla are the games. It's funny, when I was in Chicago, I made a ton of content that I never released, and it's me talking about how badly I want to buy the Jurassic Park and the Godzilla. I just bought an upgrade kit for it's $20, and right for that saucer. So I'm going to replace that with a cooler little saucer top. Pinball Life, fantastic place. Just a lot of fun. So every single one of these pinball machines, I have the cup holder on. Even though, and then I got the shaker motor in there. It's $100. Pinball Life. Oh man, it's so great. Adds so much to the experience. Like at this point, and then I got the connected on the Jurassic Park. I didn't originally have that. So this is the Revenge from Mars, and it's a beast. It's so much heavier than those Sterns. And that's the thing with the, like, I don't know, like I love this game. It's great, but I don't know if I want to say I'm regretting it, but it was a lot of work to get in there, and it will be a lot of work to get this machine out. Now there is an issue with it. And when I turned it on, a fuse blew, and it's related to the solenoid here. And so the game was working fine when it was in my garage. And again, this is like, never had an issue with any of the Stern machines. Never had an issue with any of the arcade 1-ups. Me personally, it's like I'm batting 1,000 when it comes to everything I've purchased. Like I got that Toshiba CRT. Works great every single time. I only want to upgrade it because I know the Trinitrons are better. I get this machine, which was fully refurbished and fully worked out. I move it downstairs. Something's wrong. So this is the other area that I'm showing off. It's a pretty nice basement, actually. We have a lot of space. It's one of the reasons why we got this place. So we got the Blitz machine here. And there's plenty of room in here for any more 1-ups. The only problem is they haven't really came out with any great machines this year. I'm not really interested in Fast and Furious. Maybe when it comes down on a discount, maybe, we'll see. But I'm looking forward to other machines that they'll come out with. These move around my house, no problem, right? Don't regret buying these because they're not a hassle at all. I enjoy playing everything that I've bought, but it allow me to express the point that owning bigger machines comes with a lot of extra effort. And maybe it's worth it. Maybe there's an extra satisfaction to it. But assembling a 1-up also for me has a lot of satisfaction. You can see this is additional room. I do want to mention, oh my gosh, right there, I am in love with those home switches. I can tell Siri, like, turn on all my arcades, and it's great. I'll talk about that more in a second. So then I got the deluxe version of the Class A 1881. I was thinking about getting the original, then I decided not to get the original, and I'm just going to go with the deluxe version, and I have the other version. I don't know, it's just kind of one of my favorite cabs, so I don't know if I'm going to keep both or sell the other. But this is, I don't think I've ever showed this room. You know, I don't know why. I just feel like a long time I've only ever showed, you know, this scene, you know, what you see right now, these 4 machines. I don't know if I was embarrassed about the room that I have. It's sometimes like messy, sometimes not fully set up. But I wanted to show you that, you know, that's what I'm working with. So talk a little bit about, oh, I think I missed it. I'll have to pull up really quick a picture. So I got the pinball machine, let's see, the Pinball 2000 Revenge from Mars was all set up. I got it, got the legs on, I got it all tightened, I got that nut back in place. It's a lot of work. I got the pinball lift, the Harbor Freight pinball lift, lowered down. And after all of that, I turned the sucker on, and straight up, it just turns off right away. So I'm doing all this research to kind of figure out what's going on, and I turn the machine on. Here we go. And luckily, let me share my screen. Hold on one second. How do I go full screen? Give me 1 second so I can go full screen here. Enter full screen. Okay, so what happened? That's not it. So I turned the machine on. This is Pinball 2000, and it says a fuse is blown. So it says there's like a diagnostic report. You go into the settings. It says read test report. I look at it, and it says a fuse is blown. And so what's really cool, I mean, I'm new to this where there's an issue with a pinball machine. And luckily, I'm learning these machines like tell you what's going on. That's pretty fantastic. And so it says that the F10 fuse blew. And all I know is when I hit start on the game, it just went and turned off. And so I go look up what F10 is, and F110 is the solenoid. It's the fuse that is for the circuit for the solenoid. You can see that right here. And so that makes sense, right? Because when you press start, the game will pop the ball out, and evidently right when it pops the ball out, it blew for some reason. So in my head, I'm not an electronics major. I've read a few books on electronics, and some of it made sense. And, I used to mod consoles, and I had some basic understanding of electronics, but never at an expert level. To myself, I thought, okay, a fuse is blown. How does a fuse blow? A fuse can blow easily if there's a short, or you have a bad part. And basically, the bad part is causing the short, right? Like the actual part is a short. And so what I thought I should do is buy a replacement fuse. Maybe I would buy two. The first thing I would do is, go in there with an ohm meter and set it to a continuity tester, touch on the ground, and then go across and check and see if things are shorted, like essentially something that should not have a continuity to ground does. What's really cool is the solenoid circuit is probably pretty simple, going to the power supply and some type of switch. And I have a working Pinball 2000 episode 1 machine upstairs. And so I have both of the Bally Williams Pinball 2000 machines. I bought them together. And so the one upstairs perfectly works. So I can actually use that if I get confused, if I'm like, oh, should it or shouldn't be this way, I can use the other one as a reference. So I don't know if I will, but it's kind of cool. So I would check and see if there's anything obvious, right? So you would look through the solenoid. Is it blown? Is there anything, a resistor, a capacitor, diode, something in the circuit that's obviously blown? And if it is, then I go find the part number, which I found there's plenty of information out there for these pinball machines that have a parts list, that have a manual where you can go in and find every circuit and what parts there are, and there's part numbers, and there's websites out there where you can just literally go buy that part number. So I was encouraged by that. And then what also encouraged me is that I went onto some forums and read, hey, I have a bad fuse. There's threads about it. What should you do? And that was the advice. It was, hey, you want to check the circuit. You want to follow it, see if there's something that's blown, replace the fuse. Start with replacing the fuse, maybe buy two. And I was like, hey, that's kind of like how my brain was working for troubleshooting. It doesn't appear to be that I'm that far off. So best case scenario, I was thinking, I went to Pinball Life. They have the fuse, 99 cents. So I bought 2 along with some other things I wanted to buy, like another shaker motor for my Jurassic Park. And let's see what else I get. And then that saucer. And then so I bought 2 fuses. Worst case scenario, if I failed to detect the short and I jump ahead to replacing the fuse and that fuse blows again, I'll know that there's something else in the circuit that I didn't catch that got blown, and so I need to replace it. I used to do troubleshooting when I was in my 20s installing cable, and it feels like the same thing. We're like, okay, then I'll replace this part. So worst case scenario, why is everyone saying that I gotta check my, for God's sake, check your DMs? Okay. Do I not have audio or something like that? Why does everyone want to talk to me? Okay, hold on a second. Thank you, Sheline. I don't know if Sheline's joking. Hold on. All right. Is this it? Like, I'm supposed to share, like, Zohar's Benny Hill clip? Is that what it is? I can't hear any audio. Hold on a second. Okay, jeez. All right, okay, you guys ready for this? Make sure the the audio is on. Okay, you ready? Okay. That's it. You guys freaking out over that? Well, I hope you got a good laugh over it. Okay, so where was I? So yeah, that machine. I think I can fix it. I ordered the parts. They should be coming soon. So hopefully, the big resolve of this will be me posting that or maybe in another podcast, that I finally got the Attack from Mars fully set up in the basement, now leveled, and now that circuit fixed. Again, I was saying the fix could be as simple as 99 cents, the fuse, or, I don't know what's in the line, cap, a diode, a switch, the solenoid itself. What is that, $20? So worst case, the solenoid is probably the largest part that could be replaced. But I looked, at least the ones that I saw, didn't look like it was too expensive. Now, I want to add this thing because sometimes, again, you guys got in my head. You're like, you guys never share. You never share, Justin. You hold things back. You got to share more. I need you to share more. Okay, Zohar, get out of my head. Talking about Justin Plus. We need your Justin Plus. Give us your extra material. Okay, so fine. I'll give you the extra material. It's not just that. So I get the machine finally in the basement. It ended up taking most of my day. And because of it taking up so much of my day, I decided to treat myself. So this is me sharing more, if I can find it. So here it is. I got the parts list. Okay, parts list sounds good. What's next? Oh, yeah. Let's go get some Peruvian food. So I think I deserved some Peruvian foods. I have no clue what this is, but it was what the waiter recommended. And I got a little Peruvian, the Pelzin, the Peruvian beer. I went all Peruvian. And this was just the appetizer. I'm on a diet, but I was like, you know what? I finally got that machine down in the basement. Yes, it needs a fuse fixed. We'll figure that out. But it's finally done, and I didn't have to spend a ton of money on it. Did mostly myself. A buddy did come over, and I did give him a little bit of money, $100, but that's besides the point. But hey, it was, anyway. So then I had this. This is their Peruvian steak and spaghetti. Yes, the steak or the spaghetti is green, and it's amazing. It's basically green cheese just smothered in spaghetti noodles. Yeah, MG. Now, there was definitely a cheat day. It was definitely a cheat day. And then over on the side, I have no clue what that is in the top left. It tasted amazing. It was, it's like cheese, but the cheese was colder. And I think it was kind of like potatoes. And so you take anyway, like if you have a Peruvian place in your town, check it out. It's kind of like, at least the one in our area, this is called Tapa. A buddy of mine took me there, and it was just, I fell in love with it. I've been there 3 times this year. I'm on a diet, but this is my cheat. I was like, it's like a big reward for me. I went by myself. I was like, I'm going to tell my wife she's on a diet. She's like, no, we're good. The Peruvian steak and spaghetti, it's not like that in the menu. That's not what it's called. So that's me sharing a little bit extra. Maybe you didn't need that, but I did. Then let me jump to this other thing that do I have a video on that? I don't. Yes, I do. Okay, so let me share this video with you. Also this weekend, it doesn't fall into anything that we're talking about right now, but I want to show you because it's something that happened this weekend that I thought was really cool. So the following day, which was yesterday now, I had a second cheat day. So for me, there was like 2 cheat days. So I went to the Peruvian place, but then my wife and I kind of had a date night, I guess. My daughter was spending the night at a friend's house. And so I asked my wife, who we're both like very strict on this diet. I was like, you want to go out? And she's like, yeah, let's go out. So we went to this place called the Beer House. Very odd. Like, I don't know. Let me guys know in the chat here live. Do you guys have a place like this? This is new for me. But in this particular restaurant had no wait staff. I believe what has happened is they're so understaffed. They just redesigned the restaurant about not having wait staff at all. We only saw 2 people in the entire building. So you walk in, immediately there's a sign that says seat yourself. And then it says scan the QR code and order your food. No one comes to your table to welcome you anything. You just find a seat and you sit down. It's a restaurant that holds about 100 people. You scan the QR code. The QR code has embedded in it the table you're at, and you order your food and you pay from your phone, and then they bring you your drinks and your food. That's it. So the only person you ever see is a runner, and the drinks are delivered from the bartender. So I think there was 3 people there, the bartender and 2 runners. That's it. Probably there was a chef or 2 in the back. Also, the food was amazing. By chance, the food that we got was spectacular. Maybe it's because we're on this diet, and so any greasy food tastes great. But I ate this burger that had, it was like one of those breakfast burgers, that has the egg, and the hash brown. Wait, eggs, bacon, meat, bun, greasy. Oh, it was so good. Yeah. Did you still leave a tip? The app was all like, you got to give 18%. And I looked at my wife and I'm like, do we? I mean, are the runners getting paid like $3 an hour or $5 an hour and they base their income on tip, or how does that work? And my wife's like, it was so good, just give them the 18%. I was like, okay, so we tipped. We just assumed that the people that were working there were like gonna split the tip. There wasn't really the app said you need to tip. Like it highly encouraged tipping. So maybe that's the new thing. Yeah, I was like, that's pretty clever. You get rid of the wait staff and you still shame people if you don't tip. Like, who are you tipping? I hope they're not tipping the owner. Like, because I mean, the food was priced okay. There was another place we're going to go to and everything was like $40, $50 a plate. And we're like, a little much. This was like, the burger was like $10, $12. But then you had to, I got like cottage cheese and it was like $2.50 extra for the cottage cheese. Anyway, at that beer house, I'm sorry, I'm getting off track. At that beer house, they had this weird arcade and I have no clue what it is. And I didn't research it. I just filmed it. And I want you guys in the chat to let me know if you know what it is. I thought it'd be like a fun little game. I have never seen this. Maybe you're going to make fun of me and be like, you should know what that is, Justin. But I don't. I don't know. So let me show you this video. Okay, so this is the back room of the beer house it's like Urbandale, Des Moines, Iowa. So they have some dartboards, whatever. And then, let's see, they got some tables. They got a pool table. I don't know, a couple of these casino things in the back. But what the heck is this? What is this? It's like an infinity game table where the screen is like 84 inches. But I don't know what this is. Like, are these Android games? I was taking a look, like, I've never seen this. What is it called? Have you guys ever played this? It's got a fish table. Is that what it's called? It's for gambling. It felt very gambling-like. Is it fish table? That's what people are saying. Let's see. Bring the chat back up and let's see. Yeah. Anyway, that was the thing I'd never seen before, and I don't know why it was in this. It's a koi carp fishing big ripoff. I've seen them at Dave and Buster's before. So I was thinking, I was like, these guys, what are they up to? They should have some arcades back here. And then I started thinking, well, what if I start talking to them and I'll be like, I got some extra arcades you could put back there. We'll just, we can split it. We'll put a little cash machine. We'll split it. I don't know. Maybe it'll bring in some extra business. Anyway, so I only have a few more minutes for the show. If anyone had any thoughts and questions, planned on any. Wow, I really soaked up all the time here and gave very little for the chat. Let's see. Novasonic, where did you get the shirt? Yeah, this was Walmart. Yeah. I had to buy new pants. And I was at Walmart for another reason. My wife's like, you have to buy pants because this is the first time since the 90s that I have a 32 waist. So I've had a 36 waist for 20 years. And the weight loss diet that I'm on, I like moved 2 sizes. And while I was there, this shirt was $8. And I was like, I'm getting that turtle shirt for $8. That's a good deal. Let's see. Can you talk about the play choice? What do you want to know about the play choice? The machine that I have, I believe, is a Donkey Kong original, then converted to a play choice. It doesn't have the case for the play choice. The PCB is just literally like screwed to the back, to the side of it. It's got a marquee. It's painted blue. When it was refurbished, it was all beat up, but blue was its main tone. We painted over it blue, kept the tone. The guy matched the tone and kept it blue. And then it came with a handful of PCBs. Over time, I started buying more PCBs, and then I bought the Game Link, which allows you to plug a power pack into it, which I already had. Power pack is similar to an EverDrive, slightly different. But the person that makes the Game Link, which allows you to plug NES carts into the play choice, they recommend using it with a power pack, not an EverDrive. So I just dedicated my power pack to plugging into the play choice. It works pretty good. It's not the greatest. Like, you can play any NES game, but you click on it, and then you just have a text list of 700 games that you can go through and be like, I want to play that one. But Mike Tyson's Punch-Out is my favorite game that I have that's native to the Play Choice 10. That actually has like kind of a high score system inside it. It's a slightly modified version of the arcade version. There's extra elements in the game, and I just think it's cool that even if it has a tiny little change to it, I think that's cool that they made something kind of different. Let's see. There was some questions in the chat that I missed, and there was some super chats. I'm sorry about that. I really got to work on all of that. Let's see. I see. Console fanboy super chat at $1.99. He says, clipped you already. Check DM. It's good. Play audio. Okay, very cool. Let's see. How many pounds can that lift handle? I don't know. I don't really know how much it didn't get bent, and the guy that came to help me out, he used it to lift up that side of the machine. So yeah. Shouldn't we have Benny Hill music going right now? Yeah, so that's a modified Harbor Freight cart. So the smallest Harbor Freight cart with a kind of modified handle. Works pretty good. Who is coming to Cleveland gaming in September? I'll be there. I don't know. I know there's a ton of other people coming. What's the next? What pinball is next to Godzilla? So I have Jurassic Park, Godzilla, Revenge from Mars, and then I'm still waiting for Foo Fighters to come up, to arrive. What's up, Justin? Where were those friendly Midwestern neighbors offering to help move your cab? Now, I have moved my cabinet from the garage to the neighbor's garage. This is the second time, and people did offer to help the first time. Guy was just like running, and he was like, "Hey, you want some help?" He was serious, and I was like, "No, I got it." But I think I could have said sure, and he would have totally like helped me get it into the house 100%. Anyway, thank you guys so much for coming to hang out. I'll try to do another stream this week, one more community centric. That would be probably better. Sorry for a 45-minute monologue of me showing you the basement with not much audience interaction. Wait, 19K Fox is starting at 8:15 now? So you still have some time before... What? But then... Okay, fine. Let's do it. We got 15 more minutes. What do you guys want to talk about? Let's do it. Questions in the chat. Let's start with a question mark. I'm going to highlight every single chat that starts with a question mark, and let's chat. Let's talk. I'm going to turn some music up. Maybe if I got some music. Here we go. All right. Paul says we should drink more. Take out your guitar and try to do Benny Hill theme. No, I don't know how to do it. Your thoughts on the KI fiasco this past week? Okay, so as far as I've been following, it's KI was a single day price drop to $150. And then they oversold on Killer Instinct, and then they had to... Arcade 1UP had to like send emails to people to say sorry. We oversold, so you can't get the KI. That upset a lot of people, and so they said we'll give you $25. So what I think, I it's possible that they meant to do $150 off. That's possible. Another possibility is straight up they oversold. There was a stampede of buyers, and the e-commerce website they use is called Shopify, which doesn't handle, people trying to buy all at once. It doesn't handle that very well. Then how they reacted to it, I mean, if they had a way to find more KIs that they own and then could honor that $150, they should have done that. I'd say I'd be pretty upset if all of a sudden the KI Standard Edition shows up on Arcade 1UP's website in the next couple of weeks at the full price again. I'd heard that they raised the price again, but I've been on a call when I did like the 1UP shows with John D, and one of the guys that runs the website was on the call, and he was saying how they basically what I'm trying to say is I think it's very possible that they put the price at the regular price as a quick way to stop people buying, not necessarily that they were really going to honor the full price. They were just like, oh, raise the price so that people will stop, you know, so the transactions won't go through, and then shut it off. That could be a possibility. Anyway, let's go on to the next question here. Now that you've gone real, see, now that you've gone real pinball, would you ever consider buying an arcade one-up pinball in the future if they doubled the quality? Okay. Here's a weird thing. So today, and it's been a while, I played the Legends pinball. And I was like, hey, this isn't actually bad. I thought, because I moved it over there in my game room, and I got it all plugged in, and it's been a while since I played it. I thought I would hate it, but I didn't. And I was like, okay, now I have played the Star Wars as is, after playing a lot of standard pinball and having the pinball machines here in my room, and kind of I can go back and forth. Here's my thought. The Star Wars games don't feel very good. There's an element of all of the Legends pinball games and the Star Wars pinball games that it feels like a game. And I wonder, and this is what I was thinking, I wonder if the Attack from Mars games that are for Arcade 1-Up would feel better. Like, because they're supposed to have a little bit, more of a natural gameplay. Maybe. Like, those are the questions that I have that I want to get answers to. So, but when you say they double the quality, maybe, because I don't know, man. Like, buying a double the quality Arcade 1-Up pinball, it's not going to be $5,000, right? It's going to be much more affordable than other options out there. And if they double the quality right, and maybe it's Back to the Future. Like, if they did double the quality Back to the Future, and it was, I don't know, like had leaderboards, or I don't know. I'm just trying to think of all the things that would take to get me to be interested. They could interest me. It's possible, because there's no barrier for Arcade 1-Up when it comes to weight for me. And weight is the biggest barrier. Weight is the thing that makes me second guess a purchase. The price, given enough time, I can save up money to anything in home arcade. So I may just and I can be patient. So if something costs $1,000, okay, put away a couple $100 every month. Maybe I can't get it right away, but in 6 months or a year, I can get it. And I've been wanting to talk about that. Like, I mean, that's a thing, right? Like, you, over time, are more powerful than you right now. Even if it's like efforts you're putting towards a project, like what can you accomplish today on a project? Well, that has some value. But over time, it has even more value. So if you can make a goal of trying to do something, a little bit every day, like, it's pretty powerful. And that's true with money too, like saving up money. Like, if you're talking about the money that's in your pocket, and it's very few, as long as you're not, if you're staying within your budget and you're able to put away a little bit, all it takes is you can put away a little bit. Or maybe you got to look at your finances and be like, oh, maybe I don't get the data plan. Maybe I don't get unlimited data plan on my phone. That's going to give me an extra $50 a month. But hey, I'm going to put that $50 a month towards that savings. And then, in 10 months, that's $500. It's like, okay, that $500, it's going to buy that next thing that I'm going to get more enjoyment out of than the unlimited data plan on my phone. I'll just connect to Wi-Fi more. So there's different ways, no matter what your financial situation, unless you're homeless, unless you have no job, you have no income, right? Like, and I feel for you, I understand. But if you have an income that's coming in and you're spending things on things already, the money over time is not a barrier. Weight for me is the barrier. If it's too heavy, I don't want to buy it. Like, I don't even believe the Revenge from Mars that I have in here, that was a mistake when it came to weight. I did not calculate the weight correctly. But I have it now, so I've overcome that, and I probably wouldn't buy another big arcade like that. I would much rather buy another Stern machine, which are easy to move around. They're not as heavy. And I fully set up all my Stern machines with zero help from anyone else. Just a dolly. The full taking off the legs, putting on the legs, everything. No big deal. Let's see. I need to get a double monitor play choice into the basement. Help. I need... yeah, I was looking at a double monitor punch out, and I was like, it's too big for me. I don't know if I could do it. That would require... Here's how I would tackle the 2 monitor play choice. It would be remove the monitors, then just get the empty cab into the basement, and then move the monitors by themselves, and then lift the monitors. They're 19-inch monitors, and I don't know if you have like a table or something like that, like a good sturdy table next to it, you could put the monitor on that, and then you're only lifting it up to go here. You're going to kind of have to lift it over your head. Maybe you need a buddy to come over. But for me, the 2 monitors on a play choice with a dolly through the grass, maybe my big dolly wouldn't be so bad. But the big dolly I have has really crappy wheels. So the crappier dolly that I have has really nice wheels. As long as the weight is like 250 pounds, it can get through the grass no problem. Let's see. Do you think Time Crisis is still happening this year? I don't know. I mean, it's purely a guess. Let's see. No, I don't think they're going to do it because recently we heard they're going to do Big Buck again. And I don't know if it would be smart for them to release 2 gun cabinets. I think the Time Crisis would compete with the Big Buck. Have they ever done a big overlap like that? Like T2 and Big Buck at the same time? Or is it more like they waited for the Big Buck sales to kind of dwindle and then they did T2? Yeah, if Big Buck is coming, I don't know if Time Crisis is. I mean, maybe. I don't know. When are they selling the KI for $390? KI Pro for $399? Let's see. I think that's all when they... Ooh, here's an interesting one. Arcade 1UP is not selling the new machines direct. So the reason why they would sell the KI Pro for $399 is to clear out space in their warehouse because they need the space, or they're going to reduce the space so they can lease less of the space. Otherwise, they just sit there and they just pay their fee for storage anyway. I think that's just a cost they've accepted. But if Arcade 1UP comes out with, say, the Big Buck Deluxe, and they decide to sell it direct, and they manage the fulfillment all in their LA warehouse, then they may consider discounting the KI Pro so that they can make room for the 1,000 or 2,000 machines they buy, and they feel that they can just cut their losses on the KI Pro, and their investments towards the next machine will pay off. And so that space is more valuable to them with the new machine. So when are they selling the KI Pro? I think it would be linked to if they sell another cab direct. If they don't, if they get 1 sale a month or 5 sales a month or something, maybe they won't even lower it. They'll just process it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thanks for the extra 15 minutes of hanging out and chatting together. 19K Fox, I guess, according to the comments, is going to be going live right now. So go check out 19K Fox, and we'll see you guys, in the next video. Take care.